Hi guys, welcome back to the second part of the second stage of the rental challenge organized by Handbam Sims. Um, if you've watched my previous video, you should, by the way, if you want to know what this video is about, you should definitely watch the first part as well. But yeah, if you've watched the previous video, then you will know that this is the room for Isabel Jones, who is an archaeologist in training. And if you look at her decorations in her room, you will see that she has taken home quite a few items from her field trips in uni. Uh, so she likes to display some of her trophies, if you could call them that. Stuff that she picked up, little souvenirs that weren't really hers to begin with, but she thought they would look nice in this big display in her room, and then um, just all around her room, really. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure if I can really say anything useful at this point because I've explained quite a bit about it in the previous video already. Except that I've tried to be creative with the placement of objects, especially with the display as well. But you can only place so much in that display. You would think you would be able to place more in because it's huge. But I think we were only able to place 6 items maybe in there, and the rest are actually placed in there by using move objects and 9 and 0 keys to move it up and down. And the rest of the items I ended up placing on the shelves and just around the apartment, really. And I think it's actually taking shape here. So you can see that she has a lot of decorative items and books, stacks of books and skill books and little statues. Again, more souvenirs. Also, those Easter eggs because I thought they looked nice. They were colorful. They fit on the shelves. Um, and they appear to be like those well, not really, but they remind me of those Fabergé eggs. Um, so yeah, I had to implement some of those on the shelves as well. I had to add those, and as you can see here, I'm still playing with the counters um, because, well, I I like to play around a bit and see if it looks better in a different way with different textures or different cabinets. It sometimes just changes the entire look of a room, so that's why I did that. And as you can see, it actually does look kind of nice. Um, I did stick with the bedding though, because I think you were able to see just now that I have been playing around with the bedding, but I changed it back into the Stockholm bedding that I created specifically actually for this build. Um, Before I really knew what we were supposed to do in the second stage, I was working on creating some IKEA custom content because I really missed the IKEA stuff back from The Sims 2. And I am quite an IKEA fan, so I felt like I had no other choice but to create some IKEA custom content. So I did, and the bedding and the bed is that's one of the items that I created, also with this particular challenge in mind. Let's see. I'm still adding items here, and I'm making a huge chaotic mess on these shelves. But I think that's actually, for some people at least, that's quite lifelike. I like to keep my things on my shelves neat and tidy. But my desk, on the other hand, is quite a mess, so I make up for it on my desk. Um, yeah. So, what else haven't I done yet that is supposed to happen in this video? Even more decorating, I suppose. I've just added a whole bunch of items, also from Buy Debug. By the way, I've used so many items from Buy Debug. Because I feel like though there are so many everyday objects in Buy Debug, like pens and pencils and tools, and obviously the skill books. They are in Buy Debug as well. But also glasses and mugs, that sort of thing. Those are all in by debug. So I ended up raiding the whole by debug catalog to add some very unique items, I would say, to my decoration here. And this little area is not just with the display case for the items that she took home, but I also added some dressers and I didn't really want to make a walk-in closet because we simply do not have enough items in the packs and in the base game to make a proper walk-in closet and have it look decent, I think at least. But I did want to make a little area where she could get changed and have a little sit down with her clothes and just try stuff. So that's why I added those little ottoman seatings in the middle of the room where she could just put some clothes and sit down and try on clothes and stuff. But that's actually also the area where I put her vanity, where I also I end up placing the. I mean, you can't see it yet because I'm placing plants here, but I also ended up adding the archaeologist table in her room, and I thought it looked nice to have this little magazine rack display thingy in there as well. I don't know why. I just think it looks nice, so I had to add that as well. Um, and this is a very small, cozy seating area. Well, it's not really a seating area because obviously there's a little love seat over there, but it's mostly the TV which is faced towards the bed so she can watch TV from her bed instead. And I'm adding a lot of plants to this corner because she likes plants and flowers and it looks colorful and nice. And here I'm actually editing the seating corner. And I've moved on to the desk because I came across something else again. But the seating corner, I actually ended up placing what shall I call it? A bench, I think. Yeah, a sort of a bench with these plants on top. And a little room divider in between, so there's a little bit of privacy. And here I'm just adding more decorative items on the walls because it makes the place feel colorful and lived in. And I like. I think if you look at this, you can imagine what my walls look like. My walls, especially in my office, there's stuff everywhere. I like to be able to look at stuff. Like photos and prints and little souvenirs. So I guess you could say that in so far in all of these rooms that I've created, I've implemented little things from my own life. So in the first build, it was an artist, and I also make art. So my my place also looks a bit artsy at times. And then in this build, there's lots of souvenirs. Now, I'm not an archaeologist, but I have quite a few souvenirs that I have on display in my living room and in my office. And also a lot of prints and books, which is also very much lifelike. But I think everyone has those items, right? So it's not just me. But obviously, I don't really have fossils lying around, and she has quite a few fossils in her bookcase and on her shelves. I also don't have Fabergé eggs or Easter eggs on my shelves. But yeah, I think it came out nice. I hope you guys agree on that. I tried my very best to make it fitting for her backstory, which again, if you've missed it, she's an archaeologist in the making. She's not quite done yet, but she's still studying to be an archaeologist, and on her field trips she takes home stuff that isn't really hers, but it looks nice in her room. And she thinks no one's gonna notice, but they will. but yeah, that's pretty much all I can say really, because I'm just going to start repeating myself. There's not much else I can say really, except that at the end of the build, I start to change some things around, and then I change them back. So I actually cut out that part because I preferred how it was before. So I removed some of the items that I not removed. I kind of flipped them back. So initially I had the vanity in the corner of the other side of the room, and then the archaeologist workbench near the balcony doors. And then I was like, well, maybe it makes more sense to have her vanity closer to her bed, and then the archaeologist table closer to the display case. In my mind, that actually made sense, but then when I started to change things, I felt like it didn't really look right. Maybe if I started out that way, then I would have liked it better. But in the end, I like the initial idea better of the vanity in the corner and the workbench near the desk and the balcony doors. So yeah, I changed it back. But I won't actually be showing what I changed in this video because it would have made the video even longer, and I figured that this was actually long enough already. So I would like to hear from you guys what you think of this second room that I created. Do you think that I actually stuck to the rules, like the no removing the permanent features? And do you think the room fits the idea of this archaeologist student, or do you feel like it's more a room for another type of sim? Um, like I said, I personally think I did quite well, but then it is my own creation, and I think it's hard to see if you've done a good job or not. But yeah. Oh, here is the archaeologist. Okay, so there was the archaeologist table. I felt like in the end, like, oh yeah, I should definitely add that because she clearly is an archaeologist in training. So why not add that table as well, so she can do some work at home as well. So that's why I added it, and I had to remove the bonsai tree plant thingy. But that's okay actually, because there are quite a lot of plants in here already, so it doesn't feel like there's no green in here. There's actually quite a lot of green. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will be back with the third video. No, actually, sorry, the fourth video for the third stage of this challenge very soon. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a comment to tell me if you did, and which parts you enjoyed the most. And a thumbs up is also really appreciated if you can bother to do that. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye bye.